Could Olivia Miles be the MVP? We get into it next on Beyond the Locker Room. At this point, pretty much is a fait accompli. It's a done deal. Wrap it up with a bow. Asia Wilson's going to be the MVP for this season. But I'm going to just give a thought, in this case, of throwing out a possibility of how perhaps a rookie could be MVP. I sat down Saturday night and I watched Minnesota Las Vegas in Vegas. Really good game, really entertaining game, lots of great shot making. And you see the top players playing like top players, especially the two of the MVP candidates going at it. And watching what Minnesota did once Nafisa Collar got her fifth foul, and watch this rookie take over the game, hitting some big shots to give them the buffer they needed. I think it was like a 1 point game at one point late in the fourth or mid fourth. And she gave them the buffer with some big shot making down the stretch, setting up some beautiful passes. You have to sit, and I'm sitting there going like, this is a rookie and she's going toe to toe here with Wilson. Toe to toe. And Wilson herself, I mean, Wilson's Wilson. She's the greatest player, arguably the greatest WNBA players ever lived. No two ways about that. I mean, as I said before, we're going on a pure metric standpoint. I get the argument. So I'm not saying that advanced metrics are through the roof for Asia Wilson. But there is an emotional component of this that I do wonder about that is slowly starting to build an argument for Olivia Miles. Here's what I mean. First thing is they have the best record and they just play on national television. And she pretty much went toe to toe with Asia Wilson. And down the stretch, she was the better player, honestly. These things matter. Don't think they don't matter in MVP discussions. They always matter in MVP discussions in any sport. These inflection points. And to see her kind of do that on a big nationally televised game, I think they have one more with each other at least. So we'll see what happens then. But I think those type of things stick in voters' minds over time. Second thing, they have the best record in the league. And it's by a long shot. And it wasn't like, they got the best record in the league when Collier came back. They had the best record in the league before Collier came back. And they still have it. And it's like, so like for that perspective, they really haven't lost a step. And she's been the engine has been driving it. Her numbers for the most part have been a little lower in the scoring, a little bit. I should say the field goal percentage a little lower. The 3-point percentage has gone up since Collier's been back. And also, too, her assists are really gone up, which makes sense. She's got a better score. Usually averages over 20 a game, so that should help her assists. So I really think that's something people are going to take in the mind. So that's the second thing. Third thing, for those that think a rookie can't win it, precedent has been set. Candace Parker. So this is not something new to think that a rookie could win, win MVP. It's possible. She has a lot of momentum going in her favor in that sense. And I think that's something to consider that, if people are concerned about precedent, they don't have to worry about it because, Parker popped that balloon already. So it's nothing new at this point. So consider that as another possibility. The last thing I would consider as the fourth thing I would think of is just Asia fatigue. They just want to take a break and take a year off. And these things have happened in the past. We've seen it with LeBron, with MJ, other renowned players where sometimes their best statistical years, they don't win MVP. The year when LeBron went to Miami, the first year, he might be the peak of his powers. Statistically, he's one of his best seasons ever. They gave the rose. Now, there were some other external circumstances that we all know about. The media pretty much being spiteful, because if they're being honest about it, they would see what the deal was. And then LeBron pretty much kind of made them look like fools after he took out Rose and company in the playoffs in the Eastern Conference Finals as he was locking up Rose in those fourth quarters. But with Wilson, I think these are one of those things where I think there might be some fatigue with Wilson. They might just want to have a different face in the mix. And now Wilson might do, and she did this a few years back when people thought she should have won the MVP and Stewie won it. And then they got the finals. And it was like, it wasn't pretty for Stewie. I like me some Stewie, but boy, woo-wee, chalk outline out there, boy. It wasn't pretty in that finals. So we'll see what comes of this, but I mean, I think there's opportunity there. I think right now they're about 4 or 5 games ahead now of Vegas. Both have clinched playoff spots at the moment. I think all roads obviously lead through Minnesota to get the finals. They are the the over what I would say prohibitive favorites at this point. I'm not sure. Maybe because it's the defending champs and Vegas has a way of turning it on in the second half of the season that you can't take that away from them. But it's hard pressed not to see how Minnesota's playing and how much depth they have. And that starting five is the best starting five in the league. It's not even close. Um, you literally have five players that made all-star teams in their starting five. No word of a lie. So that is something to reckon with. But we'll see what Vegas has to offer, what Asia comes back with. I do think also too, I would say just as a kind of a bonus point, if you're thinking about how the game is changing, I mentioned this a few weeks ago during the All-Star break, and how much the guards are now becoming more and more, just like in the NBA, they're becoming more and more of a force to be reckoned with. And we saw the evolution of the WNBA is not much different than the evolution of the NBA, where you get to a phase where the guards become more and more a bigger part of the focal point of offenses, and you're seeing that more, and you're now starting to see this generation of guard play start to come to fruition. And this Olivia Miles being MVP might represent that. Some people might look at it as like a quote changing of the guard, mind the pun. So I can see that as being kind of a bonus reason why she could be considered for MVP. But don't discount it, folks. Remember this date. I know it might seem crazy, but I think she's gonna get more votes than people think. I don't think there's going to be a unanimous MVP as many people think it's going to be. I think there are going to be some Olivia Miles supporters there. I mean, hey, if you had to go and put a gun to my head, obviously I think Angel Wilson's going to win the MVP. But I'm just throwing out the argument for folks that want to come at me. Hey, man, Olivia Miles, man, might be something to consider for MVP. Anyways, drop your comments below to tell me what you think. If you think Miles has any chance at all to win MVP, love to hear your thoughts down below. As always, you can find me on Facebook, on Instagram, on X, on Blue Sky, and right here on YouTube. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. Appreciate all the support as always, guys. Be safe out there. We'll talk next time. Peace.